Good afternoon, I am Mr. Ish. You are joining me for this part 2 video here on absolute value functions, but here we're looking at evaluating absolute value inequalities. A few ground rules have to be discussed before we do anything. If you have anything which looks like this, absolute value of A, you can open that up and it would look like positive A and minus A. That's just the nature of absolute value, because you can do a positive and a minus and it'll convert everything into a positive. What that means, if you're looking at something which looks like absolute value of A is equal to 3, then here A can equal to 3 and A can equal to minus 3. Another thing you need to be very wary of is if you take a minus to the other side of an inequality sign, you'll flip the sign around. That's the effect of taking a minus across an inequality, and it would be the same if you were looking at something like this and you took it across, it would become in the opposite direction. What that means in terms of actual examples which we will look at, I will demonstrate to you here, because these are some of the rules or the conventions you need to look at. If you have something which looks like this, absolute value of A is greater than or equal to 1, and when you open it up, you know this right here is an A and a minus A. You can open this up and develop two expressions. One is A is greater than or equal to 1, and the other one is A is less than or equal to minus 1. You have to generate both formats over here and then evaluate based on both of those. Let me show you another example as a clarification to what I'm showing you right here, and look at it in this way. If you have something which looks like a minus and this, and you have something like that, you want to move just the minus, you want to take and flip the sign inequality around, because simply you've moved the minus. Now when you open this up using the premises of an absolute value, you're looking at A is less than or equal to minus 1, which is what you would originally see, and then you'd flip everything around. A is greater than or equal to, and you take a minus over there and you'd have a 1 over here. And you have to be familiar with these movements. When you open up this, you're generating both positive and minus values, and that positive moves across the inequality, nothing happens, and the minus moves across the inequality and it flips it around and it affects the other side with that minus sign. So keep this in mind. We will look at two videos in here. When you look at these two, you'll see everything will make sense with regard to some of those rules I was presenting. You will solve these as you would a simple algebra question by taking everything onto the other side until the last part where you have just this. Here you will do is take the absolute value on the other side and you will generate two statements. One will be exactly what you see and the other one will be opposite to everything that you do see. You see that, right? Everything has been done. And here what we're doing is determining the values of x which will satisfy this equation. That is what we're doing, is determining a domain of your inequality. You'll solve these out now algebraically. X is less than minus 2 and here x is greater than minus 4. When you've done this, you evaluate exactly what you're seeing over here. And then when you have these two expressions, you just have to combine them together into a good form of an interval or domain. X is less than minus 2 but larger than minus 4. You could very well say this right here is your answer. Not including minus 4, not including minus 2, but anything in between would very well satisfy that. An example of a good value would be minus 3. If you put minus 3 over here, it will very well satisfy this. Minus 3 plus 3 is a 0. 0 plus 1 is a 1. 1 is less than 2, and indeed that's true. This right here is your final answer. Our second and last question is this. You have to solve for those values of x which will satisfy this inequality. Treat it like an algebra question up till the point where you're going to deal with the absolute value. You'll take the 4 on the other side. You have 1 minus 4 is a minus 3. Now take the minus on the other side. You have x plus 5 in absolute value. You're going to have to flip the signs around, the inequality around, and you'll see that. Now generate the two statements which would come out from here. One would be exactly what you see. The other one will be exactly opposite of what you see. Right there. Opposite with regards to the sign, opposite with regards to your inequality. Now solve this out. X is less than or equal to minus 2. X is greater than or equal to minus 8. What does this tell you? Combine these. You're looking at values which are greater than or equal to minus 8 but including them, but they're less than or equal to minus 2 but including minus 2, and this right here is your answer. Minus 8, minus 2 and any values in between here would very readily satisfy this, and your answer has been determined. And with that, I bid you all farewell. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.